Hey guys. Hey everybody. Welcome to tonight's live. It's Monday the 23rd. Look at me knowing the date. My fancy new watch tells me. Since my other watch was always breaking on me. So this one is kind of a newer one, Teresa. Yeah, and I saw someone else say that they hadn't heard of this. I think it was Alicia. This one is a newer case. Well, beginning of the month. So she's been missing for a little while. But welcome into the chat, everyone. Hopefully you guys have had a great start to your week. It's Monday. Let me tell you, it feels like it's a Monday. It feels like it's a Monday today. So if you're new to the channel, hi, hello, welcome. I'm Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. Call me either or. I don't care. I don't prefer one over the other. But if you are new to the channel, welcome. Hope you appreciate tonight's case coverage. And if you do, I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and you'll hit the like button. It really does help the channel grow. If you're a returning Titan, welcome back for yet another live. And if you guys don't mind, you hit the like button too. Everybody hit the like button. Really, Ashley, your mama's young. She turned 55 today. Wow, you got a young mama. Happy birthday, Ashley's mama. That's so sweet. That is really sweet. Also, I have had a little bit of tooth problems today. So if I have to put some medication on it, I'm just going to turn the camera off for a minute and do it. But I really wanted to get this live out. And I'm going to the dentist tomorrow morning, super early, to try to go into the emergency dentist. So we'll see how that goes. And I might do a video. So make sure you're following me over on TikTok because that's where I put my funny air content. But if you'd like to become a member of our channel, I'll put the channel link in the chat and I'll do it throughout the live. I'm pretty sure everybody's like a member on our channel right now in our chat, but I do it anyway. So tonight we're going to be revisiting the missing person case of Chelsea Grimm. I'm going to go ahead and pull up her missing person flyer here. That way I can tell you and show you who we're kind of talking about here. Let me see if I can get this to blow up a little bit. I didn't realize it was, that's a little too much though. Okay, it's either that or nothing. So we'll just leave it like this so I don't blind you guys with that. But this is Chelsea Grimm. She went missing on October the 4th. That's when she was reported missing. So she was reported missing to Phoenix police. Her vehicle, a white Escape SUV, was located on October the 5th, 2023 by hunters on I think it's called Kaibab National Forest, Road 6, northeast of Ashfork, Arizona. The vehicle may have been there as early as 9/30/2023. Chelsea Grimm was supposed to be traveling from California to Connecticut. The last known contact with Chelsea Grimm was on 9/28/2023 in the Williams, Arizona area. This is anyone with information about Chelsea Grimm or the situation is urged to call the Coconino County Sheriff's Office. And it has their number here, 928-774-4523. So that's her there. we have a lot to kind of discuss tonight. So SF Investigates is currently hired to work this case. I'm not sure if you know who that is, but if you don't know who that is, he is a private eye who helps families of missing loved ones find their missing persons. And he took his drone out and he did some really good coverage of this case. So we'll kind of be able to see where she was parked, the area. He took his drone out, like I said, and he drove the actual route as well. So if you guys don't remember, this was where her car was located. It was in this general area. So for her to get to this area, she's not from here. She would have had to have come off of like a main road and then went back into the Kebab. I don't know how to pronounce that. National Forest. I need to figure that out. How to pronounce that. But yeah, so that's where she was parked. So like I said, SF Investigates has been doing a really good job on this. So I reached out to him on Twitter and was like, hey, bud. No, I just said, hey, can I use your drone footage and show, my people? And he was like, yes. He's like, thank you for asking. Of course. So that was really nice. So we'll go over that tonight as well. But before we do that, let me see here. Also, I listened to him on Down the Rabbit Hole News last night. So if you're not following her, that's a good true crime channel to follow as well. So he was on Down the Rabbit Hole News, and I took notes over what he was saying on there, like because he was clearing things up. And so we'll go over that, and we'll go over that tonight, and we'll listen to this. Brian Enton did News Nation on Banfield one night, and he did like a whole story covering it. So we'll go over that for all the latest updates. So for now, let's go back over the timeline that I made for us to kind of get us started in this case, and then we'll go over a little article. And I appreciate you guys all being here. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. It's good to see everybody. And I heard Ashley said something about it. I saw her see something about toothache. Yeah, it's the worst. I'm ready to get this thing pulled. Broken bone. Me too. I said the same thing, Ashley. I'd rather have a broken bone. Anything but a toothache. But I will say you all are the best because the clove oil has been helping. So like I just like put these little cotton things in there and then I put it on my tooth for like a minute and that takes the pain away. It just seems like it's coming back faster. So we're going to go to the emergency dentist tomorrow. Just take them out. Whatever you got to do, make me feel better. I don't care at this point. I'll be taking them out myself. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. That would be so painful. That would be so painful. Let me get to where we need to be here on this. Let me actually present this to you guys. Make sure it all comes up. This is the one that I made for us when we went over this live on my birthday, actually on October 17th. So that was the first time we had covered this case. And now we're, coming back to it. We kind of, got lost with Horn Vandersloot there for a minute with Natalie Holloway, and there's still not a whole lot of updates. The only updates that I'm seeing is from SF Investigates. So they, the police department there, they haven't put anything on their Facebook page in days. I'm talking like since like the 9th. I don't know. There hasn't been any press conferences. So that's another thing that's kind of weird to me because usually people will hold a press conference, So Chelsea Grimm is 32 years old. She was last seen on September 28th, 2023 in Williams, Arizona. Her SUV was found October 5th, northeast of Ash Fork, Arizona, on Forest Road or Service Road 6 in Kayab National Forest. It had 2 flat tires and Chelsea was nowhere to be found. And I do have information about the tires tonight too. Chelsea's parents, Janet and Stephen Grimm, say she left her home in San Diego, California on September 24th to drive to Connecticut for a wedding and to visit them. She was traveling with her bearded dragon. And she had just gotten that, I heard too. On September 27th, Chelsea called her parents from Arizona and said she wasn't going to make it in time for the wedding. Instead, she was planning to stop and camp in Arizona for a couple of days. On September 28th, Chelsea was seen in Williams, Arizona, according to the Coconino County Sheriff's Office. Family says Chelsea's cell phone has been turned off since September 28th or 29th. Her parents reported her missing to the Phoenix police. Department on October 4th. Sorry, I was reading something about YouTube actually. Sent me an email. So sorry about that. And that's her bearded dragon up here. And that's her purse. You can see up there the red purse. On October 5th, hunters northeast of Ash Fork, Arizona in the Kaab National Forest reported a suspicious white 2019 Ford Escape with 2 flat tires parked on a Forest Service road. They had first noticed it 2 days prior on their journey. The car belonged to Chelsea, but she was gone, along with her bearded dragon and her wallet, and also her keys. And then there's the information if anyone needs to call, the sheriff's office, Coconino County, 928-774-4523. On September 27th, Grimm met with a friend in Phoenix. The next day, she canceled a lunch with that friend. Later that day, she was reported to be disoriented when she tried to book a motel in Silgaman, I don't know, which is near Williams. I'm not good with the names. I went too fast again. So a Williams police officer spoke to Grimm on September 28th. She was crying with her bearded dragon Rosie in her 2019 Ford Escape SUV parked at the Williams Cemetery. And I did some digging on that too. A woodcutter reportedly spoke to Grimm on September 30th on Road 6. The remote dirt road was west of Flagstaff near Ash Fork, Arizona, where her abandoned SUV was found on October 5th. And this is where the drone footage will be from this area here. That is all I have on that. So let me see here. Okay. I did look up. So remember when she was at the cemetery? Let me move these. Okay. So remember she was found at a cemetery crying. Hey, Lindsay, welcome in. Hey, T. Salas. Yeah. Yeah, I was just talking about that. Yeah. I'm going to talk. I talked to Steve today. He said I could use his content. That way we can look at his drone content. And I'm really glad he got back to me so fast. That was nice of him. I've known of him since Kylie Rodney case. That was a while ago. So, oh my gosh, over a year. So, wow, I've been on YouTube for a while. But I told you on the last live, I was going to check out that cemetery because the officer approaches her in a cemetery one night. She's in her car. It's after dark. So we all know the rules of a cemetery. They're only from sun up to sundown, they're only open. So the officer came in and, just approached her vehicle and she was crying. She said that she was crying because of the lost soldiers at the cemetery. And I was like, because my mind is always working weird. It's just weird. It's weird. And I was like, is there really lost soldiers at that cemetery? Or was that maybe something she said just to kind of cover up something else that she might have been doing there? Maybe take a little smoke break or something. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with no judgment over here. That's for sure. But she was right. She was definitely right. So here are some of the headstones that I did find. So this is U.S. Navy, World War I. There was more in here. This here, World War II. So there's definitely and there's a bench with a flag. I don't know. It's definitely has some soldiers there. But it does have other people just, amongst them as well. So it's just a regular cemetery, but I wanted to show you guys that because I was searching for some stuff to see if it was in fact, I didn't know if they were maybe all of this, the whole cemetery was for wounded or not wounded, but deceased war veterans, or if it was for just, the public in general. And there happened to be war veterans there. And I think that's what it is, the latter. So I've heard a lot about her ex. I've heard that he's not a good guy. Yeah. I heard he's not. Yeah, he is. He's real nice. Yeah, he is. He thanked me for asking before I used his content. I was like, of course. He's like, well, thank you for asking. And I'm like, well, you're welcome. Because I just know how it could be with, creators. And he's always trying to help, families. So can't beat that, Ashley, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, that's what I'm kind of thinking, but I don't know. Like, I'm thinking maybe something like a bad trip, especially now that I know what's going. Like now that I've heard what SF Investigates has seen and what he's kind of investigated and what he's allowed to kind of say, because he is working in this case, so he can't really say a whole lot about the investigation, but he can say a little bit here and there, stuff that we kind of already know. So I'm going to go through this article here. I thought this one was a good article. It gives us a little more of the context of the story and of what's going on. And then we will look over SF Investigates' Twitter page because it's really good stuff. He's been out there this is I think second time he's been out there. So this came out on the 17th as well. And it just says, police have released the last known footage of a woman photographer who abandoned her car in Arizona forest before disappearing with her pet lizard. So that's one thing too. Like when she left her vehicle with a sleeping bag, her car keys, her lizard, and her wallet, I believe. Wasn't her wallet with her? I believe so. Trying to think if I'm missing anything. So she left with like necessities, but at the same time, if it's dark out, let's say this happened at night. If this happened at night, then there's no street lights out there. There's nothing to guide her way. There's nothing, like no cell phone light is going to be that bright to get me to be going out there where there could be animals or whatever, with my pet lizard. I don't get that part. But her car was locked because when the officers physically went in to get into it, it was the alarm went off. So I just don't get that. It says the parents of Chelsea Grimm, 32, have hired a private detective after hunters found their daughter's white Ford Escape locked but with 2 flat tires just northeast of Ash Fork on October 5th. She had set out from her home in San Diego for a wedding in Connecticut on September 24th and planned to document lost and forgotten people for an art project on the way. But she had only gotten as far as Williams County, south of Grand Canyon, when a police officer found her in distress while parked near a war memorial. Oh, I guess it is a war memorial. Should have just read this article first. On September 28th. Would have saved myself some sleuthing. I just was doing a photo shoot of the lost soldiers and got a little emotional, so I was crying before I got back on the road, she told him in her last film exchange. And that's her there. She's so pretty. That's her in her vehicle. And then there's her tattoos. You can see. She said, if that's okay with you, I'll hang out here for like another 15 or 20 and then head back or head on the road. That would be my plan, I think. 2 days later, a woodcutter in the nearby Kaab National Forest was the last person to see her, leaving her family desperate and baffled. He thought she did not seem in distress or in need, Chelsea's father, Stephen Grimm, told News Nation. He went back to make sure she didn't need any help, and she declined, so his conclusion was that she was in pretty good shape. Chelsea had taken her car on the 2,800-mile cross-country trip because she did not want to be separated from her beloved bearded dragon, Roxy. I thought you could take a lizard kind of deal on a plane. Can someone explain to me? Do you guys know that? Yeah, she took her lizard with her. It's all very strange. It was dark when the police officer and his colleague tapped on the window of her car for a chat. Oh, I guess he had a colleague with him. Hello, how are you doing? The officer asked her. I'm okay, she replied. How are you? And there's her bearded dragon. I hope that her and her dragon are okay. She explained that she had been photographing the memorial and did not want to drive while upset. Too bad that bearded dragon didn't have a chip in it. I was just thinking that. Because then you could, maybe they could, they'd have to have the chip to be able to find out where the dragon is, probably. Never mind. She admits having smoked some marijuana hours and hours ago, and the officer reported that to his dispatcher, but said she did not look impaired. Do you have like a hotel around here or something? The officer asked. I don't, she replies. I was actually thinking of just camping for the night, but I wasn't really sure exactly yet. I didn't plan to be here until sunset. He points out that camping within the city limits is illegal and suggests she go to a nearby truck stop for the night. And I have an update on that too as well. I don't know if you can see like the yellow lights up there, the loves, he asks. The trucker stop in the gas station area, you can just sleep there. Nobody will bother you. Awesome. Yeah, I love that, she replied. She told him she would return to take pictures at the memorial after a night at the truck stop. Hang out here however long you want, he told her before leaving, and then you're good to go. The reptile had gone along with Chelsea's wallet, driver's license. Okay, here we go. So, she did take clothes. Let's see. The reptile had gone along with Chelsea's wallet, driver's license, clothes, and sleeping bag when the car was discovered. And police have said there's no evidence of foul play. So why did she take her purse? That bothers me. Because how would she carry everything? I don't know. But she has her driver's license, her clothes, her wallet, her sleeping bag, and her lizard. But her family does not believe their daughter would harm herself either. Chelsea is an incredible, vivacious, and talented young lady, and she's got a heart of gold, her mother, Janet Grimm, told Law and Justice. I realize she's not the only person walking around in Arizona, probably with a bearded dragon, but there's probably not a lot of people walking around with their dragons. It often is riding on her shoulder, by the way. A day before her chat with the police officer, she had met a friend in Phoenix and made plans to have lunch with her sister the next day before suddenly canceling. She seemed pretty uneven the last day or two. Her father, Stephen Grimm, admitted. So he says she seemed a little uneven. She was upset with the boy she was dating. She was scared of him. We feel like she was running away from him, and I think overall that was affecting a lot of her mindset. You think if she was running away from him, though, like if he's in California, she would want to get over to the East Coast as fast as she could. Chelsea's sister, Sarah McCarthy Grimm, warned Facebook followers that Chelsea's ex-boyfriend was claiming to be her fiance and had set up a phony GoFundMe appeal to help with the search. Yeah, he said he needed $30,000 to go help search. Her father said his hiring of private detectives was no reflection on the police effort, but that the authorities are simply running out of leads. I feel like we've got real professionals who are really trying their very best to find her, and we're grateful for that, he explained. And yet there are not that many new clues, so understandably, it goes to a slightly different level of immediacy for them. And it just seemed like it couldn't hurt. It's a nightmare, and it's one you can never have imagined yourself in and wouldn't wish it on anybody. But having that said, we're hanging in there. We're holding on to hope. That's sad. That's so sad. Let me see. I wanted to show you guys this too. Welcome on in, everybody. Spooktober. Oh, speaking of something with October, I'll tell you something funny before we, keep going. Cause this is like, maybe we could break something up a little bit. All the sad, but I was watching TikTok the other day and I never get on there, but this lady has a Roomba robot and she made it into a ghost. So every time it comes into the room, you could just hear her laughing. And so she piled boxes or something and then put a sheet over it and made it look like a little ghost. So now I know what I'm going to do with my shark robot. I'm making it into a little ghost. I'm going to scare Vincent with it. Or maybe I'll just put Nancy on there. That'd be fun. Yeah, maybe Ashley said maybe she went wandering off into the desert to soul search and then got lost. And unfortunately, they'll probably find her body out in the middle of nowhere, but no foul play. I kind of thought that, but it would be maybe like drug induced, not saying anything bad about her, not saying anything bad at all, but maybe it's just a recreational, she decided kind of like that. She wanted to go kind of find herself and she was like, I'm going to take this and go into my world. But because it's happened before. I mean, we just saw this last year with Trinity Backus. I mean, she was 16 years old and ran off into the woods and was found, I think it was 2 weeks later, and she was naked and it was crazy, but there was no foul play. I think she was naked. Man, these cases are, I need to refresh my memory. Alpine said a truck stop is not a safe place for a single girl to park overnight. You're probably absolutely right about that. And you probably are right. You are right. Exiting a DV situation. I think so, Therese, maybe. Yeah. Hey, Pocket American Bully. Yeah. Like she was acting a little bit off. I thought so too. It just seemed like she was, because this is what gets me is the map. It's like she's kind of all over the place. So her destination was, San Diego, California, all the way to Connecticut. But she got to Arizona. She only got this one state over. Like, it's crazy. So on September the 24th, she leaves home. September the 27th, she is in Phoenix. So from the 24th to the 27th, that's 3 days to get not very far. Then she goes to, then she's on the 28th, number 3 is where she spoke to the police officer in the cemetery, Williams Cemetery. And then she goes over a little bit to Ash Fork. That was the last sighting. So it's like right beside, number 3. And then the car was found in the Kaab National Forest, October 5th. So it just, I don't know where she was going. I don't know where she was trying to go. I wish I knew. So before we go over to SF Investigates, let me, I got my notes here. So if I'm over here reading, that's what I'm doing. I'm reading to you guys real quick. So these are the things that he wanted to clear up. So he also mentioned that there was another PI working for the case. So their family hired one already. That's the one I think we just read about in the Daily Mail article. And then they also hired in now SF Investigates. So they do have 2 people that they hired in to help them find their daughter. And he did say that money, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but like something like they're financially, they're okay. They're good. So they're good. A lot of people do. And she's right beside National Forest. I know. Too close to a forest, So what I heard she's not, no, this isn't the assistant teacher. I heard that she might've been like a counselor. But I thought she did photography. So that's all that I know is that she does photography. But he wanted to clear up a few things. So he went on Down the Rabbit Hole News' panel on her live, and she brought him up. And he was able to say a few things. So I was taking notes. I listened to it again today so I could take more notes just to make sure I didn't forget anything. Or I hope I didn't forget anything. Hey, Riddler, how are you doing? Welcome in. Thanks for my birthday card, by the way. That was very sweet. Hey, Cheryl, welcome in. And hey, Deb, welcome in, everybody. If you guys don't mind just taking a second, hit the like button. It really helps the channel and it's free to do. If you haven't subscribed yet and you are appreciating tonight's case coverage, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel because we'd love to have you. So he said the 2 people that first saw the car who were a kid and his grandfather that named Bill Sector, both of them were from the area. When they first saw the car, the tires were not flat. So he said the guy, Bill, specifically looked to see what was wrong with the car when they drove by it, but couldn't see anything. So they figured it was someone hunting in the area because it's elk season and it started last week. Elk season did. SF Investigates said that the police confirmed that when they made contact with the vehicle, the car was locked and the tires were flat on the passenger side. When they forced entry into the car, the alarm went off. So it appears to have been locked with the little clicker beeper thing or with the key. So they had 4 eyewitness accounts, but I only have a few listed. So I don't think he went through all of them, but, he said they had 4 eyewitness accounts, 3 of them being in the forest area. So she was in the forest area. Let me see if I can pull this up. I wonder where we may have to actually look it on his, because it might be better to look on his to look for the forest area. I'm assuming when they're saying that, let me see if I can pull this up. I'm just assuming this, and we'll probably be able to see better when we get on his page. But like maybe she wasn't seen on the road part; she was seen back through here. Like, I don't know. It's very strange. One was Bill and his grandson. One was the woodcutter that spoke to her twice. He saw her car a mile before it broke down along with the campsite. So he saw her at a campsite, like she had a campsite built, and he had saw her car, and this was like a mile before. Like she must have been traveling in that area when he saw her. Maybe her vehicle was pointing that direction. I'm not sure, but it was about a mile before where her car had broke down. Thank you, Mary Beth, for gifting a membership. And welcome, Rita. Look at that. Thank you so much. And I think the next witness was an officer, if I got that correctly. But he said he saw her camping off the road, more in the trees. So like just kind of like what I just said. He spoke to her to make sure that she was okay. And he didn't say like, yeah, she said she was okay. He just said he spoke to her to make sure she was okay. There is a gap in dates between September 30th and October 5th from the witnesses and the first made contact with her car. Let's see. Also, SF Investigates brought people in to look at the car to see about the flat tires, to see how they were made, how that happened to her vehicle, because, you know, it's both on the passenger side, the front and the back. And he said that the tires were shredded. So he was wondering like how that could have happened. And they're saying that it could have been a lava rock. I meant to look that up. And she could have like ran over it. Oh, like those. Let's see if we can. I just share this like this. But yeah, they're like this, like these rocks. Okay, I didn't know what they were. Okay. But she could have like ran over something like that. Yeah, I didn't know what a lava rock meant. I didn't know. I was like, what's a lava rock? But that's what it said it is. Very, very strange. Let's see, where we're at? Oh, and then yeah, he said it could have been a lava rock, like from her going off road. Like she might have, you know, just been cruising and that's a gravel. In my mind, I'm thinking, you know, that's a gravel road. So that side of the road can pick you up, you know, can pick you and drag you to the, like off the side of the road if you're not driving like carefully on a gravel road. I grew up on one, and I don't know how many times cars were in the ditch. Because they didn't know how to drive. It was, you know, kind of hard. So he said that the front tire was way worse than the back, and she drove it until it couldn't be driven anymore. So the tires just didn't blow, and then she stopped and was like, oh, holy crap. She kept going. Like, I don't know what would make her do that. The only thing that makes sense is her phone died. But like, she would have a charger with her if she was going cross country like that, unless her charger broke. And then, but look how easy it is to walk out of here. You literally just go down the road. It's, you know, you're not going to get lost. I feel like even if you go this way, you'll eventually come off and come into a road. Unless you go off the beaten path. And, you know, the night that she came in contact with the officer, they said that she did go over to the Lowe's truck stop. So she did make contact over there. They didn't say anything else other than that. And he said that cell phone service was like a little shoddy out there, but he said that it was easy to be able to like walk out of, just like I said, you know, she shouldn't have had any problems being able just to walk out of there. Now I wonder where like the Loves is compared to here. I don't know. Okay. Very strange. Let me get us to where we need to be. I think this is okay. I'm going to share it like this. So this is SF Investigates. Like I said, this is his, these are his videos. I'm going to play these for you. And then this is like the road that she was on. And I'll read you the caption up above. And then we'll kind of just go up and we'll see what the newest post is. Summer said, I think she left on her own. I'm thinking the same. I'm really thinking the same. I mean, who's going to try to kidnap you, let you lock your car or lock it for you and get your wallet, only your wallet, your lizard, a sleeping bag? You know, those are just things that are very strange to me. I want to know where her cigarettes are because she had cigarettes in her purse. That's what I said on the last live too. Wherever her cigarettes are, that's where she needs to be because that's, you know what I mean? Like normally you're with your cigarettes. So he did say that there was a lot of evidence, I don't know what that means, found in her vehicle. So I really wish we knew if her cigarettes were in there. It says, this is the Forest Service Road 124 that connects to the road Chelsea Grimm's vehicle was found on, about 13 miles into the country. It's not the four-wheel drive kind of road I expected. It would also be hard to get lost. There are roads and water tanks everywhere. So I'll play this for us here. I don't think that there's any sound, so I'll just turn it down. Or I could just turn it up a little bit. Like the sun's not even down yet. This is giving me Kylie Rodney vibes. Maybe like water tanks, like for the different, like water towers, maybe. I don't know if that's what he's referring to. But maybe a water tower. Actually, they could have, yeah. I was gonna say, or maybe someone picked her up to give her a ride, but she had AAA. I don't know why she just didn't stay with the car. Her family had AAA for her. All you gotta do is call, say, come fix my tires. They'll pick you up. They'll tow your truck. They might pick you up, make you stay in a hotel for the night until something opens the next day, but you'd have something. Actually, that's another good point. If someone hit her like on accident, I would have stayed with the car. That would have been me. I would have stayed in the car, but I would have been so scared. This is going to take me all the way back, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, there it went. Okay, cool. It says, regarding the Chelsea, let me show more. Regarding, this is from the 19th. So regarding the Chelsea Grimm search, I'm about to go back up to the area of the vehicle. Since the location has been disclosed by others online, I've received permission to share my SARTOPO, my SARTOPO map. It's I think it's a map when you're like looking for missing people, I think. This will track me in real time, by GPS, since there is no cell service. He said there's no cell service where he's going to be at. This is for my safety since I am alone. I am armed and not worried about the environment, but accidents can always happen. This way, everyone knows my exact location, as it should show my real-time tracking. I set my track line as purple. If you click this link, it will take you to my SAR map. If you don't check in by 9 p.m., there is a problem. Otherwise, I will be fine. There will be times when you don't see me moving much because I was flying a drone mission. I am hoping to find Chelsea today. Maybe we'll come back to that that thing there. So, okay. And then this is the next one. And it says, thank you everyone who tracked me today. I just exited the forest. I haven't looked through my tweets yet. I have about an hour on the highway till I get back to the hotel. I mapped a lot of area by drone. It's much different than expected. I'll give a recap when I get to the hotel. In the meantime, I will tweet a few videos of the terrain and location of the car. Then give a more detailed debrief when I'm at the hotel. Thanks for watching over me. There's no service most of the time. So maybe that's why she couldn't call AAA, because she didn't have service. So she started walking out. That's the only thing that makes sense. If he's saying that there's no cell service, that's the only thing that makes sense to me, because to me, I'm like, AAA, stay with the car. But if there's no cell service, then you got to go somewhere. But why wouldn't you stay on the road, honey? Why didn't you stay on the road? Chelsea, girl, honey, where you at? I don't like that. Here, this is in the daylight. It says, this is a video driving to the location that Chelsea Grimm vehicle was found. It's far different terrain than the area I expected. I have today's search confused about the circumstances. Okay, so let me go back a little bit.
This is to give an idea of the area. Probably about a mile and a half from the first area where I launched the drone. I'm guessing about 3 miles from where the car was. But this is...
It's not even heavily wooded.
You could walk out of here, no problem.
Like, it's not like, how would you get lost?
The road's been like, in fact, this is the worst part of the road so far. It's been, as hard as pavement up until when I was...
Unless she is disoriented, got confused.
And I'm on the 6 now, so this is it's confusing, because if you broke down, car was disabled, whatever, it would not be a hard walk out of here. And there are a lot of hunting camps around. Now, granted, a month ago there wasn't as many, but it just it's not rugged terrain.
It's not like rugged at all. To me, very weird. Doesn't even look like a national forest out there. Let's see here. So we'll go here. I like, Twitter's always confusing to me sometimes, if you guys can't tell. But this is from the 19th at 10:32 p.m. Before I give a longer debrief, I see there is talk about the tires on Chelsea Grimm's vehicle. I talked to the sergeant that is head of SAR. When they encountered the vehicle the evening of the 5th, both passenger tires were flat. Car was locked with no keys inside. They don't know about fuel level because they couldn't start the ignition. But when they made forced entry into the vehicle, the alarm went off, so the battery was not dead. I spoke to the gentleman and his grandson who saw the car on the 30th, and I fully believe him when he says the tires were not flat. The car was right in the middle of the road, so they looked to see if the car was visibly disabled, and that's why it was left there, and there was nothing obvious. So when they saw the car, there was nothing wrong with it. And those guys just assumed, the guy and his grandson, that someone was out hunting elk. So here's the wrap up he's saying. So what's this from the 20th? Okay, I'll play that after I read this. We'll read these first. So here is a wrap up of things I can disclose from the Chelsea Grimm search. The area is not rugged at all. The road is in very good shape. You don't even need an SUV. Everybody put the thing in caps on now. If you were to break down out there, you could easily walk out if you're in decent shape. The car was blocking the road. This caught the attention of a local hunter and his grandson who saw the car twice on September 30th. They specifically looked to see if the tires were flat and if that was a reason it was left blocking the road. They said the tires were not flat. I 100% believe them. The sheriff's department approached the car 5 days later. The passenger side tires were flat. Not known about the fuel because keys were not inside. Doors were locked. Battery was not dead. I found non-evidence at all today. So maybe no evidence. Okay. That's what he means. I found no evidence at all today. There are several camps in the area because hunting season opens tomorrow. They have been there for a month scouting. Some of the nicest people I have ever met. I would have zero issue camping out here alone. Not me, buddy. It's just too dark. It's too open. Her ex-boyfriend and his friend are in Arizona and set up a $30K GoFundMe right away. One of them made a video about me this morning pitching that I was being paid and that they had raised no money. There does seem to be a credible eyewitness account from the area. I can't discuss that though. I am going to search tomorrow. Tomorrow is off. That is for certain. I think in the next 72 hours, the case will reveal itself. I could be very wrong. This is an effing strange one. So he posted that a couple of days ago. So, like, according to this, it'd be like tomorrow, something would be said. Okay, so here's something that he would add. This is the rest of it. Something I would add, and it's just my opinion, because literally everything is still on the table in this case. Abductions and or assaults are violent. Things are broken, blood is splattered, hair is pulled out, clothes are ripped off. Here the car was locked, alarm set. The lizard was not left in the car. If it's an abduction or assault, it's a very courteous one. And I agree. I agree with that. It was very, you know what I mean? Like, lock the car. And he's right. Normally you're going to be screaming. You're going to be pulling the hair. They're going to be clawing. Things are going to be, done. Very strange. So it says right here, but the sleeping bag is gone, right? And he said, I have asked how that is confirmed. She had a sleeping bag and nobody knows for sure. She has a group of friends that are literally working around the clock helping to solve this, and they are great. That's one thing I'm certain is 100% though. I'm not certain is 100%. So let's go back and see what else we can find here. So this is going to be another, I think this is just kind of walking around. So we'll watch this really quick.
So this is the exact spot that Chelsea's car was found.
Okay, so that's the same. That's the exact spot her car was found. This almost looks like a road right here. I don't know if you can see. I don't think you can see my my mouse, unfortunately. But doesn't that look like a road right there? Like you could drive off into that?
Sheriff's Department does have a missing person poster up there. It's also that's the first sign I've really come across the whole way here. There's also a turnout. Like she came from this direction, coming this way, but there's a turnout right here, like where my car is. But apparently she stopped right here in the middle.
So that's what he's saying. What I just said. Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit because that's what he's thinking too. He's thinking maybe she turned out like that. Maybe that's where she hit the rock.
It's also that's the first sign I've really come across the whole way here. There's also a turnout. Like she came from this direction, coming this way, but there's a turnout right here, like where my car is. But apparently she stopped right here in the middle. It's flat. It's easily walkable. Lost person behavior would probably tell you that she'd keep going straight, which is mainly where they searched. But I just have a feeling that because it's so flat and easy coming in, and she knew that she may go back out the same way. But they did search. I've got their search grids.
I wonder if it'd be easy to get lost in those trees. If you walk all the way up there and you just made like a slight wrong turn.
They're lines that they searched by air and by ground, and they did a bunch to the west, some to the east, not a lot north, very little to the south. So I think I'm going to do, I've flown a couple drones outs already. I think I'm going to do some to the south. That takes you into pretty heavy trees. Well, no, except they're not real tall trees. And then north, although it's private property, she would have to cross a fence line eventually, but she may just walk that way because there's these windmills up there, and that would give you the illusion, or not the illusion, it would let you know that there's a road there. So, but this is a good road, so I don't know. It's very strange situation.
Very weird, guys. Very, very weird. There's no rough terrain or anything. Man, this is just giving me like Kylie Rodney vibes for some reason. I don't know if it's because we're watching SF Investigates or if it's the road, and so you know how like it just something is making me like feel that way. That's a Sandy. Oh, so he forgot that he had his tracker on. So people were calling him wondering why he was going through the store looking like a crazy person. Whoops. So let's see. So this is from the 21st. What's today's date? The 23rd. So this is from Saturday. It says, today at the request of the lead private investigator in the Chelsea Grimm case, he's in the field working leads. And with the permission of the lead detective, I viewed and searched Chelsea's vehicle at the police impound. I cannot disclose what was found in the car, but there were a significant amount of evidence. So, like, a significant amount of evidence to me sounds like you found something of importance. That's why it's called evidence. It's not like you found her favorite sweatshirt. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. To me, that's saying something. And remember, these are going in time order too. So this is like the newest one. Since it was made public, but not conflicting stories, I can confirm the passenger side tires were flat. They were not slashed. Oh, I thought that he said they were slashed. Okay, so they were not slashed or purposely deflated. So they weren't slashed or purposely deflated. I am meeting with a witness in a few minutes and then driving back to LA tonight because I have plans this weekend. Can't cancel. And then he's been back out there. So that was the 21st. This is the 22nd. Oh, maybe he put the drone footage on YouTube. Okay, cool. So for those of you who would like to see the area and terrain that Chelsea Grimm's vehicle was found, I uploaded a 4-minute drone to an unlisted YouTube page. Where I'm standing at the end is where her car was found. And we'll look at that in just a second. I want to see if there's anything else. Okay, so there's 20 minutes there. Okay, let's see. We can watch this through YouTube. I don't think that there's any sound of this. I think it's just, yeah, there's no sound. But it'll give us an idea of what the terrain looks like. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So it's going to look like it's going pretty fast, but it's not like, but it is. It is going at 1.5 speed. And I think it's the 4-minute mark. That's where her car would have been. Those might be what he's talking about. Those could be like the lava rocks. I'm assuming that they would be a little bit bigger than what was pictured. Like pointier rocks, just kind of like rocks that don't have like a form. I'm trying to like describe it the best way I can. But look at that. But can you imagine being stuck out there at the same time? I couldn't imagine that. They're jagged blobs. There we go, Ashley. That's a good way to describe it. Cheryl, I feel like that about myself, and I'm not missing. Or homeless, I mean. If I went missing, no one in my family would know. Not one of them. They would just assume I'm doing okay over here with Vincent. Unless Vincent called. I'm telling you what, you guys would know. Because I've taken I took a day and a half or something off, and people were emailing me like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm okay. Yeah, this makes no sense, like at all. There's not that many trees. As you can see. I wonder what the weather is like out there at night. You know what? Let's just look that up on my phone real quick. Williams, Arizona. Because I mean, at night it might get a lot cooler. Even though it's like the desert and stuff, they say that it gets really cold at night out there sometimes. So let's see. Williams, Arizona. So tonight it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be 44 degrees, 40 degrees, 38 degrees at night. It's cold. It's cold. Oh, I should have stopped that before it went off so I could show you. So this is SF down here flying it. And this is where her car was found, right where his truck is, or this person's truck, I believe. Very strange. Very, very strange. Okay, let's go back over here. It just says that's 20 more minutes. Okay, and then that's all he had. Okay. So let me find the other one. Where'd it go? There it is. And I'll just put this on 2x. So that way we can kind of see. Oh, maybe I don't even need to. Okay, and then it'll kind of be faster for us. Very cool drone footage, though. See, even the trees aren't heavily dense. Like, are they to you guys? I don't think that looks heavily dense. I mean, down that ravine, maybe so. But I'm sure that they checked there. It's very strange. Very, very strange, guys. And he's just showing us that this is like, different terrain. And there's like the big rocks. Those might be like a lava rock. I'm just going to put this stuff on my tooth a little bit. It's not bothering me, but it feels like it's going to start. It's crap with me. I think she would have stayed on the road too. Yeah, I don't think she would have ventured off the road like that. It's Williams. Yep, Williams, Arizona. Let me grab my drink real quick. Okay, very cool. And I think that's him coming in like where I don't know if that's where her car would have been. It looks like it because that looks like the little service road that she went down. And they saw her camping out here as well. Someone did. So right now, they're not really having high temperatures in this part of Arizona, which is weird because I thought all of Arizona was hot. But it says during the day, it's only 65, 63, 62. And then at night, it's going down to like this next week, it'll be in the 20s. So I'm just curious. What's that? Is that the camp that he was trying to show us? I don't even know what that is. I'm about to, oh, never mind. I guess it wasn't nothing. Or he's just trying to get a better view. Yeah, that was odd. What was it? I don't even know. I'm gonna have to write him and ask him. Like, what was that? Was it a campsite? I don't know. I think he did say that there was a lot of campsites though set up. They had been set up like months in advance because it's elk season. I didn't even know that you could like hunt elk. I didn't know that was like a thing. I mean, I didn't know that you could do that. Like, I thought they would probably be like endangered or something by now. Well, I guess whatever it wasn't that important. Yeah, I don't see this having a good outcome either. This is just, I mean, you cannot survive that long without food and water. If you're hurt, if she's not hurt, she would have walked out of there. I'm just going to kind of move this along and see what she's showing. I think she's just kind of going around the area just to kind of show us what it looks like. It's very, very eerie. And no one has said anything. Like there's no like updates anywhere for her that I can find. And I wonder how her bearded dragon is surviving out there. Like if let's just say she's out there camping away and having a good old time. I mean, she would have to come back for food for her dragon. I mean, she'd have to do that. You would think. I think he's just going towards the woods. Yeah, he's not really showing much. I didn't know if he was going to show the car location again. That's what I was kind of looking for. It doesn't look like it. It looks like he's just kind of showing the area, the terrain and stuff. And then this is just him like searching for her, you know, and you would be able to see something through those trees for the most part. Like there's just so much openness. Way too much. Okay, so I did want to show you guys this video that Brian Enton did. I was over on Twitter. I saw it. So I figured I'd play this for us. And I'm going to look up any updates and see if I can find anything on Chelsea's case. That's an update tonight. But there's probably nothing out there. But I hope that we find her soon because she needs us to. She's only 32 years old. She's out there somewhere. And our family misses her. That's terrifying.
They're on the lookout for a California woman who went missing during a cross.
Thank you guys for being here tonight.
Chelsea Grimm. She left her home in San Diego on September 24th, headed for a wedding in Connecticut. She was traveling alone, with the exception of her pet bearded dragon. Remember that, the pet bearded dragon, because that sort of comes into play with this whole thing. 3 days into the trip, she met up with a friend in Phoenix, Arizona. That same day, she called her parents to say the drive was taking longer than she thought, and she planned to skip the wedding and head back to San Diego. She didn't realize just how long the drive was going to be, her mom told me. That was the last time her parents actually heard from her. But it wasn't the last time Grimm was seen altogether. That night, she was spotted at a hotel in Seligman, Arizona. A witness says she seemed disoriented, that she was actually trying to use euros instead of U.S. currency. On September 28th, a police officer responding to a report of a woman acting suspiciously found Grimm in her car at a cemetery, and that was in Williams, Arizona. She told him that she was working on a photography project about missing soldiers and that she had gotten emotional. She told the officer she planned to camp in her car that night. I want to show you this. Here is some of the conversation. It was recorded on the officer's body cam.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Are you doing all right?
Yeah, I just was doing a photo shoot of the lost soldiers and got a little emotional, so I was crying before I got back on the road. I was actually thinking of just camping for the night, but I wasn't really sure exactly yet.
Gotcha.
Well, I didn't plan to be here till sunset.
Okay. Just hang out here however long you want. You're good to go.
Awesome.
Okay, so 2 days later, on September 30th, a woodcutter saw Grimm camping in her SUV, and that was near Ash Fork, Arizona. He said she seemed okay. On October 4th, Grimm's parents reported her missing. The next day, October 5th, hunters found Grimm's SUV. It was abandoned It was in the middle of a dirt road, and that was also outside Ash Fork, Arizona, where she had spoken again to that woodcutter. That was 5 days earlier. This is what's very strange. Both tires on the right side of the SUV, they were flat. Her cell phone, her wallet, clothing, and sleeping bag were not in the car. And again, this is important, neither was her pet bearded dragon, who she had gotten pretty recently. We're going to hear more about that in a second. Earlier today, I spoke with Chelsea's parents, Janet and Stephen Grimm. Here's some of that conversation. Can you talk to us a little bit about her itinerary? Was her plan to drive all the way from California to Connecticut? Was it sort of like a road trip she was looking forward to?
Actually, she was originally going to fly, but because she had recently acquired a bearded dragon as a pet, and the airlines wouldn't let her take that animal on the plane. So the day that she was supposed to fly east for this wedding, she called and said, I'm going to drive across the country. And she said, I've packed my car, I have my tent, I have my sleeping bag. I might spend a couple nights in a hotel, I might camp. I'm going to sort of see how it goes. And 3 days later, I mean, we talked to her in between, but 3 days later, she said, I'm only as far as Arizona. I just don't think I can do this by myself, which we had tried to explain in the beginning. But she said, so I think I'm going to just skip the wedding and stay here for a couple of days and do a little camping. And then, she made it sound like she was going to head back to San Diego.
Saw the picture of the bearded dragon. Did she have an adventurous spirit? I'm just thinking like that's a long drive, and the camping was it out of the ordinary for her to sort of be spontaneous?
I'd say yes and no. She was spontaneous. She changed plans a lot. This wasn't the first time she ever changed a plan, for sure. The magnitude of this adventure, quote unquote, of driving across the country was a lot, even for Chelsea. And we said we thought that was too much. And if she wanted, we'd help her fly from Phoenix home, or, she had a friend in Phoenix that she could leave her car with. We gave her, a bunch of options. But she seemed intent on this once she had chosen it.
What made you report her missing? Like when did you start to get the feeling that something was wrong?
Well, we last talked to Chelsea on the 27th in the afternoon, and she said, I'm going to camp for a couple of days, and so I'm going to be probably where I'm not going to have cell service. And so for a couple of days, we didn't even think about it again, because she had told us she would be offline, and we knew she was in in Arizona, where there are spots where it's not particularly good for communication. So it was after a couple more days after that we started thinking, this is too long for a camping trip, and she should be back. She should be somewhere where she can get in touch. And so on the 4th of October, we reported her missing, and on the 5th, they found her car in Arizona.
He had met up with a friend in Phoenix, I believe. Have you talked to that person? Were they able to give any information about sort of her state of mind or what was going on?
Yes, actually, our other daughter talked to her at great length, and she shared a couple of emails. And she said that they gotten together, and they had a nice visit at her house. And Chelsea and she were going to brunch the next day, but the next day when it got closer to time for brunch, Chelsea said, I need to change plans. So she did, with this other friend.
Did the friend have any information about like any reason to be concerned, or did it just seem like a normal hangout?
Yeah, not particularly. Yeah, no alarm bells or anything. I mean, she says they had a nice visit, and she was looking forward to seeing her the next day. So can't really explain that any better.
No, she said she was doing a photo project, I think in a cemetery, when she interacted with that police officer. Do you know anything more about that? Was she, a photographer? Can you shed light on that a little bit?
Well, she did photography a lot, and she also did paintings, rendered art, to supplement her income, whatever her income was. And so it's not at all unusual for her to have been doing a story or a photojournalist story for some, whatever publication. So that's not unusual. I being in the cemetery is, I guess if you're doing a story on lost soldiers, that maybe that's a good place to look.
I think she also had a strong affinity to her grandfather, Janet's dad, who was a World War II veteran. And perhaps that was a draw to the veterans there.
We did see that they had World War II veterans in that cemetery, so that could be it.
Yeah. Have you been able to see that body camera video? I think it was on. Did anything seem out of the ordinary, or did she just, you obviously know her better than anyone. Did she seem like herself in the video?
Couldn't see much of her. We just heard her voice. That sounded like it was definitely her, in my opinion. No, it didn't seem, out of the ordinary. And one thing that seemed very in the ordinary or in character was how I think she said, "I appreciate your compassion," or something like that. That sounded 110% like Chelsea. She's a very compassionate, empathetic person, kind of an artist at heart, and that sounded just like her.
She had an interaction with a woodcutter also. Have you been able to get any more information about that?
I know the authorities had talked to him, or I believe it's a male. We don't have anything particularly noteworthy to add on that, except he thought she did not seem, in distress or in need. He actually went back some short time later to make sure she didn't want help, and she again a second time declined his help. So his conclusion was that she was in pretty good shape, not worrisome.
It sounds like the bearded dragon was important to her, obviously, if she was going to drive across the country and not fly. The bearded dragon was not found with the car. Does that make you think that she went somewhere and took the pet with her? Is that sort of a good sign to you?
Oh, absolutely. Chelsea has always had special spot in her heart for children, elderly people, and animals, and she would never leave an animal in a car. She just wouldn't do it. So I think that is a hopeful sign. I also think that the chances of people recognizing Chelsea are at least sort of connecting the dots. If they see somebody with a bearded dragon, they're going to take an extra look at that person, because it's unusual to be carrying around a bearded dragon, usually on her shoulder.
It would definitely stand out. So that's a good thing for people to look out for.
Right. She also had a very distinctive tattoo on her left arm, which was a vine with leaves on it that sort of wrapped all the way around her lower arm. So another visual clue.
Have police given you any other information? Is there anything else people watching this should be on the lookout for in a certain area, or are there any other tidbits that they've been able to give you?
I wish there were. There is a chance she got a ride out of there. She seemed to have left that car of her own volition in an organized way. It was locked. She had taken her wallet, and we think her phone and her sleeping bag, among other things, along with the bearded dragon. So the reason I mention that is the area of possibilities where she could be is pretty wide. It's a wide net. So, surrounding states have been notified, not just Arizona. The surrounding states, the authorities in Coconino County have been terrific in helping get the word out. And so even if you're, several hours away from there as a viewer and you've seen something that you think might be any kind of tip, we would be forever grateful if that's an important clue. Time is of the essence. And so anything that leads to progress would be awesome.
Gosh, you really have to feel for those parents and what they're going through right now. And Janet and Stephen, they have hired a private investigator to help them with the search for their daughter. And Kelly Townsend joins me now on the phone. Kelly, it's a strange case. Hard to wrap my mind around. I was trying to go over all the details today and the timeline and the fact that the car was found and that she's missing with the bearded dragon. Have you been able to piece anything together yet? I mean, do you think that she is likely still in Arizona at this point?
Well, that's very difficult to tell right now. I mean, the circumstances, you're right, they are bizarre. I mean, and the body cam video of the law enforcement officer talking to her, my agency's just recently been brought on. But I have an interest in, he recommended for her to go to Love's. And I'm working with Coconino law enforcement right now and trying to find out, has anybody gone there to check out the CCTV? Because if she actually followed the officer's advice and was camping there or just sleeping in her car there, did she get approached? And I know the Love's, those Love's gas stations, I guess, truck driver stations, they have places where people can sleep. Truck drivers do it all the time, showers and stuff like that. So I'm right now, we're just trying to gather as much information as we can. Coconino County Sheriff's Department has been outstanding working with us. Some law enforcement departments, they don't work with you just because you're a private investigator. But because I'm interested because there was 2 flat tires, it was out on a dirt road. How far was the body cam video where she was talked to by the police there to where the car was found? I mean, because did somebody interact with her and then they drove down that road? I mean, we're all assuming at this point right now because nobody really knows for sure except God. Right. I mean, that's where we are right now. We have had some interesting things come to light just as of today. Matter of fact, just a few hours ago, that we're working on that could really generate stuff that we're probably going to want to get out on the news if it comes to fruition, because we may have something that we want the world to look out for.
Yeah, I would imagine when you start asking questions and like you said, around that gas station, first of all, the thought of a young woman sleeping alone with just a bearded dragon in a gas station parking lot makes me a little nervous. Can you share a little more about what you've discovered in the last couple of hours, or give us?
I really can't at this point. I really can't because number one, we have to verify. Number two, we have to interview, and these people literally just came up on the radar today, and so we're trying to get interviews set up and composite sketches and things like that.
The tidbit about her trying to use, I think it was like euros instead of dollars, and possibly being disoriented. Do you know anything more about that? Because her parents, told me, she was an artist. It wasn't odd for her to be in the cemetery taking pictures as part of her art project. It just seems strange to me that there was that one account that maybe she was like disoriented at one point.
Yeah, right now I can't say that I would verify that with you right now. I mean, I thought it was a little odd where she was crying, but the law enforcement officer walked up to her and she was crying, and he asked her, and she said it's because she just took pictures at the graveyard and she was weeping for the soldiers. I don't know. I've never personally met Chelsea, but she seems like a nice heart, very compassionate girl. But was she actually crying and just saying that to law enforcement? You follow what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah, or perhaps she was moved by the art project she was working on. We'll stay in touch with you, Kelly. We want to stay on this story, and I'm glad that you're involved and assisting the family. I know you just came on. I think It is. Yeah. I feel for those parents. I just want to put out the phone number. Anyone with information, you can contact the sheriff's office there. The number is 928-774-4523. Hopefully we will have some good news to report sometime this week, because she seems like a wonderful young woman, and she's apparently got that bearded dragon on her shoulder all the time, according to her mom. So that would be easy to spot. So hopefully someone will see something. Thanks for coming on.
Okay. So I looked on Twitter. I've looked everywhere. I can't find anything new on Chelsea's case. So nothing tonight, but hopefully over tonight, they'll find something out and we'll hear something in the morning. I feel so bad for her family. I really do. I feel bad for the family. I feel bad for her. I feel bad for her bearded dragon. You know, even the ex-boyfriend that's even crazy and stupid, if he has nothing to do with it, I even feel a little bad for him because he has no idea what's going on. So, you know, if he doesn't know what's going on, that is. Hey, Wendy, welcome in. Oh, you're welcome. So, yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on this case. And tomorrow, like I said, I have to wake up at like, oh my gosh, I think we have to get up like 3:30 in the morning. So I'm going to get off here in just a moment. But because I have to be at the dentist at 6 a.m. to try to get in. They only allow 10 to 15 people in. I gotta be like, I'm just gonna be like, I've given this hospital so much freaking money. You better let me in first. Capiche? No, really though. Really. That's where I was in the hospital. So I mean, they know me. They should know me by heart. I was about to get like my MRN number, the hospital number, just tattooed right on my other wrist. That way when I go in, I can just scan myself. So thank you, Catherine. All I'm going to need is say a prayer. I know they're going to want to take these like maybe 2, 3 on my lower bottom and the back. If they do at this point, just give me the thing. Just give me the permanent. We'll get the permanents in. We'll all figure it out. We'll all figure that out together. How's that sound? At least this is one thing about me though. I'm very positive when it comes to not feeling good, like, and needing things done. I usually am always really positive. So that's one good thing about me. I'll never come on here and be like, oh man, I got to have this done. And like, you know, I can usually suck it up and put on a smile. So I think I'll be able to do that for tomorrow too. So thank you guys all for being here. Appreciate it so much. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't yet, we do talk true crime daily at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will see you guys all tomorrow on the live. Have a good night, guys. Bye, guys.